Located at the University of Finley, the Mazza Museum is a place for children to come and see illustrations that are a part of many popular books for kids their age. For over 30 years, the museum has been open to the public, rotating their art every year to give children the opportunity to see different types of illustrations and stories. Not only is the Mazza Museum a place for children and parents to view their favorite artwork, but also a library for kids to read the book placed below new illustrations they find visually interesting.
One of the most influential author-illustrators in the Mazza Museum today is Stephen Kellogg. Though the museum displays many of Kellogg's pictures, one that stands out among the others is the cover image of Kellogg's book, A Penguin Pup for Pinkerton. Inspired by a family dog he used to own, Kellogg has created an entire series of stories based on his beloved pet.
The narration begins with a little girl named Emily arriving home from school after learning about penguins. Her excitement about the penguins leads her to tell Pinkerton and the rest of the family how a father penguin protects the egg during hard winters. Being fascinated with the idea of having his very own penguin pup, Pinkerton begins to pretend that the football he found in the yard was an egg.
When Emily takes Pinkerton in for show and tell, her classmate Billy declares that Pinkerton stole the football from him. The loss of his football egg saddens Pinkerton, but when he sees a football game taking place in the park one day, a spark of hope prompts him to chase after the ball and run away. Emily and her family go off in search of Pinkerton and find him at the ice rink with the football egg. Granny tells Pinkerton she has a surprise for him and gives him a hatched penguin pup of his own to take care of.
When looking at the way Kellogg created the cover for A Penguin Pup for Pinkerton, your eye is immediately drawn to the falling snow. Creating depth in a two-dimensional image is not an easy task, though Kellogg accomplishes this by layering his paint to achieve soft-looking snowflakes. Once the snowflakes visually attract your eye, they fall down the illustration, leading you to notice the gradual change in colors from blue to purple.
Kellogg makes a statement by keeping the snowflakes behind the characters on the artwork. The background of the snow appears to be endless, much like the creativity that children have when they look at the world. If the snowflakes were to fall over the characters, it would detract from his use of cool colors. At first glance, Kellogg's color choice does not appear to have any significance, but as you flip through the pages of the book, you notice the strong use of warm colors is very contrasting to the cover, thus leading to the question, why did Kellogg use cool colors for the cover illustration? The cover of the book is contrasting to the inside illustrations because Kellogg chose to keep the cover relatively clean and simple. When flipping through the book, however, every page is filled with bright colors and many subjects, which oftentimes escape the borders Kellogg created to contain them.
Another way that Kellogg represents the softness of the snow is by smoothing the transitions between colors by softly blending between the background and the mother penguin. This emphasizes the softness of the snow by taking away the harsh and sudden changes in colors that would be expected when going from a light blue and white cottony background to the slick black coat of a penguin.
An interesting decision made by Kellogg was his idea to have the upper left-hand corner of the illustration untouched by his colorful vision. When first viewing the picture hanging on the wall of the museum, one might be confused by the decision to leave that portion blank. If you take a look at the cover of the book, though, you understand that Kellogg was only leaving that space blank in order to keep the title clean and visible.
The sideways glance the smaller penguin gives Pinkerton's new pup serves as a metaphor to many children who may not be as welcoming to new brothers or sisters. The happy smile that Pinkerton is wearing goes to show that he enjoys his fatherhood immensely. When children see this illustration, they are able to relate to the smaller penguin's skeptical look, but then after reading the book, they find that their creativity can help them accept a new family member, just as they have accepted the idea of a penguin pup.
Standing in the background of the illustration between Pinkerton and the penguin is Emily, who has a look of pure shock, much like the way parents might feel at some of the things that their children do or say. A child looking at her expression will laugh and find amusement in her funny face, while an adult would look at this with agreement and understanding towards Emily's bewilderment of the penguin pup creation.
Children's imaginations tend to be more welcoming towards ideas like creating a whole new species, while adults are more rational, finding the book silly because they realize creatures like the penguin pup are an impossibility. It is in this way that Kellogg appeals to his children audience. Their grand imaginations allow them to enjoy the silliness brought about by the adorable combination of two animals, while also learning a thing or two about caring for a pet.
The tragic loss of imagination during the transition to adulthood is one reason why children's museums like the Mazza can be beneficial not only to a younger audience, but to adults as well.